Good morning. It's Thursday, August 4th, and here's some very good news. The right to an abortion will remain in the Kansas Constitution. This was the first ballot test of abortion rights in the post-Roe America. Kansas voters turned out in historic numbers to overwhelmingly reject a constitutional amendment. Got that? Overwhelmingly reject. This constitutional amendment would have opened the door for state lawmakers to further restrict or ban abortions in the state of Kansas. Now, Kansas is a red state, and I am sure in many other red states the general population would vote just like the Kansas population. There was a stipulation in the constitution of those states regarding abortion. I am sure that in 90% of the red states it would be voted down just like the voters of Kansas did. And this vote was not close. 61 against 39%. This vote was not won by urban counties alone. This vote carried in all counties in Kansas, rural and urban. So there is a myth running through this country that the rural populations really want abortion stopped. But that's not true. I believe that if any other state had similar situations, any of these states that are banning abortions had a similar situation to Kansas, where there was something written in their constitution, it would go down to defeat. This vote upholds a 2019 Kansas Supreme Court ruling that in response to an attempt to ban a common second trimester abortion procedure, the court said that Kansans had a right to bodily autonomy and therefore the right to terminate a pregnancy. In common sense, in plain old common sense English, that means that the woman had rights, and the rights of a fetus did not overcome the rights of a woman. So there were many around this country that were watching this vote. And they were watching it because they wanted to see which way a red state would vote on this particular issue. And they were hoping for the different result. They were hoping that the amendment would be defeated, that abortion would rise in Kansas. But that's not what the people of Kansas wanted. So in a deeply Republican state, you have a victory for abortion rights. And that should scare the shit out of these many other red states that are promoting these anti-abortion laws. Because the people in that state are probably very unhappy with those situations. They're very unhappy that they have to travel outside the state that they live in to have their medical needs taken care of. So that's what we have in this country. A divided nation, and even divided within the party themselves. Because this abortion rights defeat in the Supreme Court was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And it came about because you have 3 people there that lied in their confirmation hearing and talked about precedents and that they would abide by the precedents that are already set. And then they went and defied what they had told the committee and voted to end Roe versus Wade. But the people of Kansas has shown that the people of America are really in favor of Roe versus Wade. And that we have a maniacal subculture that wants to keep abortion prohibited. And guess what? The stupid statements that came out from this coalition that called themselves Value Them Both blamed the loss on misinformation provided from radical left organizations. And this misinformation was spread by mainstream media Now, I don't know what the leading paper in Kansas is. And I don't know if they get television only from one little station in Kansas. But I am sure that these value them both members don't understand the realities of life. And they are tied to some evangelical mystique that they carry on throughout their lives, and they intend to force that ideal on the rest of the nation. And it didn't work in Kansas. So who do they blame? Not the ordinary citizens in Kansas. No, the radical left. Every time something happens in some right-wing organization, it's not the population at large that's against them. It's the radical left. Now, I admit that progressives and those who are in the left are almost as crazy as those on the right. But you don't step up and say that. That's like the big lie. And people have to accept defeat. Their compatriots believe that there are rights, that there are women's rights, and that's what they were defending. And their own political persuasion had nothing to do with it, because I am sure there's not many radical left people in Kansas. And of course, they blame the Kansas City Star and the Wichita Eagle, their local newspapers. Are their local newspapers that far to the left? I doubt it. So I'll leave you with this. They got it right in Kansas. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Have a great day.